on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. Welcome to the Locker Room Report, presented by Regions and the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. Today's show is brought to you in part by Regions. Get your Georgia Bulldogs Regions Visa debit card. Visit regions.com/GoDogs to order yours today. The Governor's Office of Highway Safety. Drive sober so you won't get pulled over. Hotel Indigo. Visit hotelindigoathens.com to book your reservation today. Now back to the Piedmont Healthcare broadcast booth. Once again, here's Neil Hondo Williamson.
The feeling that a whole lot of Tennessee fans are canceling reservations in Atlanta for the first weekend in December right about now. Get those deposits back, friends, because the road to Atlanta, as Scott Howard said, drives right through Athens, GA. 27-13, Georgia. We destroyed them today. We just blew them out, as Stetson Bennett has a terrific game, and Todd Monken had a phenomenal game plan for the Dogs, but I don't want to talk about that because Tennessee came in with the world's greatest offense. We were hearing it was the second coming of Joe Burrow in 2019. Their strength of schedule, Tennessee, supposed to be the number one team in the nation. Dogs got bounced from that. Hopefully they'll move us up to number 2 this week. Hopefully. But Scott Howard, what a display of domination by Kirby Smart's Bulldogs.
It was indeed, and as Eric pointed out there, first half it was our offense, second half it was our defense, and those two meshed together beautifully to win this ball game, to preserve the halftime lead, and just really force Tennessee into, I don't know, their offense was just so blah today, and Georgia's defense was the reason for that they didn't give up much at all. They ran tempo, but they just couldn't get any momentum. They couldn't get in any kind of forward motion, really, with any success. I mean, Georgia made some mistakes along the way. We had a few penalties, we had the turnovers. But the mix in the first half with our offense and exploding and driving the football, and then just defensive stand after defensive stand. Tennessee's third down numbers were horrid today, 2 for 14. And this team was one of the best in the country in that, right around 50%.
Yeah, 12
conversion
in the nation.
rate. Yeah, and boy, today, 2 for 14. Defense was certainly the story in the last 2 quarters.
Yeah, there's no question about it. As the weather moved in, the Dogs made a decision in that third quarter to absolutely shut it down, put this game in the hands of our defense. They delivered. It was a dominant performance from the opening whistle. You take away a couple of the turnovers, we had a chance, especially with the turnover in the second half after we just recovered a fumble on them, to probably put a nail in the coffin right there. But again, the defense played fantastic. We didn't have to do much on the offensive side of the ball in the second half. Really, in that third quarter, when the Dogs went on that just bone-crushing, time-consuming drive, and Tennessee had the ball essentially for one series in the third quarter, you knew that this game was in hand at that point. What can you say? It was a dominant performance in all phases of the game from the opening whistle.
Well, I think one of the things that you can say is no matter how smart your OC is or your head coach is, we got 3 guys on our side. Kirby Smart, Will Muschamp, and Glenn Schumann, the latter 2 being the co-defensive coordinators. What a defensive game plan they had for Georgia to shut down this heralded Tennessee offense today. Eric, offensively, our line did a great job. We grounded out when we needed to, but Stetson Bennett came out today. We only had 9 pass plays, 9, 10 pass plays of 30 yards or more this year. We had 3 in the first quarter, including a 36-yard touchdown to Ladd McConkey, long one to Kenny Mack on a wheel route out of the backfield, and a deep ball to Arian Smith that I think went for 52 or so.
Yeah, it was a great job of mixing up, running pass. Stetson ends the day 17 out of 25 for 257, 2 touchdowns, no picks. We did a great job when we had shots at explosives, taking those shots. And again, this offense has shut it down in the third quarter. That was really a half of play for this Georgia offense that those numbers were put up. We had north of 300 yards of offense in the first half. Anything we wanted to do, we could go do. We were carving them up, made them pay when they would bring pressure. It was a beautifully executed game plan.
Scott, I love the touchdown pass to Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint. Describe it for those who didn't get to see it. Second TD of the game for Georgia, put us up 14-3.
Well, it was a terrific catch, just a bullet over the middle on short range. I think, what was it, 5 yards out? And Stetson put it in a perfect spot, and Rosemy-Jacksaint went up high right under the goalpost and made a high catch, and then he got his feet down on the back line of the end zone, and both hands draped around the football, and it was just terrific right under the goalpost, feet in play, really jacked up the crowd, and Marcus with a fine catch there. And we saw a lot of that in the first half. I mean, Stetson was really on in the first 30 minutes passing the football, and in the second half it was kind of do what you need to do and let the defense win the game.
This was a game of so many big plays and impact players, one of those ones that you go, oh, yeah, and this play, oh, yeah, and that play, and it'll be so much fun to go back and watch it again. I think about in the first half, us giving the ball up. Georgia received the opening kickoff, gave it up in our own territory, again, against this heralded, world-beating Tennessee offense. The defense made a stand immediately, forced Tennessee to kick and settle for a field goal, and then Georgia, after scoring the touchdown later on, up 7-3. Brett Thorson, the Australian punter, what a time for that guy to come through.
That might be my favorite play of the game because that kind of started the whole deal. I mean, it flipped the field in a way you don't see. A 75-yard punt, coffin corner, out of bounds inside the 1. And then defense held. Tennessee had to kick out of the end zone, short field for Georgia. They go in and score, and there you go. It just created that momentum. But Thorson's kick was magnificent. I mean, in the air, it was over 60, I think, and then it bounced inside the 15 at some point and into the right corner and out of bounds at the 1 yard line, and we had a guy chasing it out to
Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint
to make sure it went out of bounds. But just a terrific play, and that was one of the key moments of the ball game.
It really was, and that is where I'm going to go back a little bit. Even when we fumbled in that first series, you could just see that the Georgia offensive line could do what it wanted to with this Tennessee defensive front, right? In the third and fourth quarter, when Tennessee was putting 10 guys in the box, you're not going to go run the ball successfully there. But when we had our normal offense against their normal defense, you could just see that we had the physical advantage in this football game, and then that got put on display. And you're right, after the Thorson punt that goes out on the 1 yard line, it's the first time that we hit Hendon Hooker in the end zone. He fumbles a football. I don't know how that wasn't a safety. Ends up working in our advantage. We get the ball back. That's where we throw the out and up to Ladd McConkey for 6. And it was all the energy and all the momentum was behind this Georgia football team at that moment. But that punt, along with how we were playing, really turned the tide of this football game.
Yeah, you want to go strike them deep. A lot of times we see that after a turnover, after a big play like that. Again, making them punt the ball out. They just want to make sure it doesn't get blocked. We get it at the 36-yard line, one play, one and done on the TD to Ladd McConkey. And give credit to, again, Todd Monken. Slaughter was playing cornerback again today. He is a safety for Tennessee. He is a natural-born safety and a good one. Last week, they moved him to corner against Kentucky. He had a terrific game. And if you read anything about it or watched it, they were talking about, Slaughter is saving he's saving us at corner now. He's coming, he's the guy. So then Todd Monken going and picking on a guy who not at his natural position with a receiver and hit pay dirt.
Yeah, no question. Todd Monken just continues to impress. Now, he's got a lot of weapons to use on this offense for Georgia, but he does a great job of getting everybody involved in the game, taking shots when it warrants taking shots, getting the right matchups that we want. And one other thing that we haven't talked about a whole lot, at the end of the first half, the way that the Dogs controlled the clock, we had the football with a little bit more than 4 minutes, knowing that Tennessee with that offense is going to get the ball coming out at halftime. We ran that 4-minute offense as if it were the end of the game. And really, we never got into a rush. We churned through the clock. We forced Tennessee to call a couple of timeouts, got down. We knew that if we had 3 points, that it was going to be worst case, probably a push with them coming out at halftime. But we were gave a lot of respect to Tennessee's offense, but did a great job of clock management there and just took the winds out of the sails of that Tennessee offense because they couldn't get the football back. And you fast forward into the third quarter, they have one series, we get them off the field, and then we go on a grind. They don't get the football back until there's a minute or something left. So from 4 minutes to go in the second quarter, Tennessee's offense very rarely on the field.
You're listening to the Locker Room Show presented by Regions and the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. If you want to get the most convenient way to pay in Athens, get the Georgia Bulldogs Regions Visa debit card. Visit regions.com/GoDogs to order yours today. We are hanging on. Coach Smart in the locker room addressing the team. I know it was a huge recruiting day today. Huge recruiting day today. And man, oh man, if between that light show, we were maybe blessed by the rain coming in the dark so they could do the light show. The sunset wasn't until 6:37 today. I checked it out. It was 6:18 when the fourth quarter light show began, so just 19 minutes before sunset. But a game like this and the noise and the fans and everybody staying in the rain, and I want to come back and talk about the fans. Okay, we'll take a quick break. They're telling me we have puffery. We have to pay for some bills right here, which is all very good. And we'll come back with Scott and Eric and DJ and Coach Smart and the party in the rain as we end the 4-day reign of the Tennessee Volunteers. Today's game ball is presented to the Middle Georgia Food Bank. Middle Georgia Food Bank supports 12 Kroger stores in the surrounding Macon area and rescued 111,000 plus pounds of food last year. That equals more than 92,000 meals. The Locker Room Show presented by Regions and the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. Georgia over number 1 Tennessee, 27-13 on the Bulldogs Sports Network. Luke Ned Carney back in the studio telling me to stop yapping and get ready to go back on the air, Neil. Thank you, Luke, and thank you, Adam Gillespie here. It is a party in the rain. The rain has stopped. Our fans are still trying to work their way out along the track and up the aisles at Sanford Stadium after Georgia's epic 27-13, number 3 over number 1 upset of the top-ranked team in the nation here at Sanford Stadium. Dooley Field. Thinking about Coach Dooley, if I'm not mistaken, 1988, we played Tennessee here at night. May have been the season opener, but I think it rained that night. I think I remember it was very warm. It was September, so it was even balmier than this. And I just remember us sitting in the rain, and that was his last season, watching Georgia beat Tennessee in the rain.
Nothing finer tonight. Oh, you'll take it. I mean, it's evidenced by the fact that no one left this game, even when the rain started. We've seen a lot of times when people feel that Georgia's got the game in hand, they'll start to slide out and head back to their tailgate side or wherever they're going, but not tonight. Not tonight. Everybody stayed, and we're all going to be sitting in traffic for a long time waiting to go home tonight.
Yeah, it's Sanford Stadium, not dangerous. You heard something about that, Z?
I did. It was Eric Ainge, former Tennessee quarterback, came out and
That's him eating his words.
It is. Without question, it is. Said that playing in Sanford Stadium is overrated. It's not loud. It's not dangerous. It's not intimidating. Something along those lines. I think everybody that were in the stands tonight took that to heart, took it personally, because everybody saw it. And let me tell you, this crowd showed up and showed out all game long.
Phenomenal. I've been known to complain about our fans some and leaving too early, and just phenomenal. I don't know how many of Tennessee's penalties tonight were false start penalties.
A lot.
But it was very reminiscent of when Arkansas came in here for that noon game last year, and play after play, their guys were moving, and our fans just kept amping it up. It got to the point at sometime in the fourth quarter when there was so much noise, and Eric Ziert said to me, hit me, and he goes, take off your headphones, man. You got to hear this noise without the headphones on, and it was incredibly loud, incredibly impactful, and the 12th man definitely gets a nod today from all of us up here in the booth, if no one else. Stetson Bennett today. looked like a flip-flop in the Heisman Trophy candidates because Hendon Hooker was the odds-on favorite going in, and Stetson certainly had to have put himself back into the running. He probably won't win. Ohio State's quarterback Stroud's terrific, but wow, what a game!
It's just amazing. Stetson, after quieting all of the naysayers last year when he won the national championship, it's amazing how quickly that rhetoric comes back when somebody new, when that shiny object emerges onto the scene. All of a sudden, Tennessee's got the better quarterback. That's the Heisman Trophy front runner, and Georgia's weakness is at quarterback, and Stetson Bennett can't play. Keep telling that young man that. Keep telling him you're not good enough to go play, because time and time and time again, he comes out here. Not only does he just win, he plays efficient football. He's smart with the football. He can make every throw in the book. I don't know how much else he has to do until he gets respect that stays with him. But keep doubting him. That's okay, because I'm sure it's coming back at some point.
Hooker is a good player, obviously, but he's got good guys around him, too. Georgia took a lot of those weapons away tonight. Even though Hyatt finished with 6 catches, 63 yards, this guy came in. He had a 200-yard game recently. He's over 100, 3 straight games. He had 18 catches in the last 3 games coming into tonight. Tillman had 7 for 68. So one of the things that makes Hooker a good quarterback and gets the Heisman eyes on him is the fact that those 2 guys I just mentioned are usually running free somewhere and making long touchdown receptions.
Absolutely.
That didn't happen tonight. And Hooker looked more like a normal human being quarterback in college football.
Yeah, he really did. Dogs did a great job of keeping the football in front of him. We did a great job, too, of putting pressure on Hendon Hooker. Even when they had guys running downfield, Hooker, outside of the one post that when we went cover 0, we didn't get to him, that they threw to Hyatt in front of Malachi Starks late in the game, right before their touchdown. That was the only time he had a clean pocket to throw from when he was throwing deep. Outside of that, we had somebody that was putting a red helmet into his chest, and that throws off timing. And even when they had guys, a handful of times they tried to go vertical, running behind our guys. When you're throwing with the helmet in your chest, makes it very difficult.
Yeah, our secondary did a great job, though, of allowing our defensive
100%.
line and our linebackers.
How many times did we get sacks because of what we did in the secondary? No doubt.
Terrific job by the secondary today, and you could just tick them off. You could just sit there and go, oh, Kamari, oh, Javon Bullard.
Bullard played a great game.
He had a great
7
game.
tackles, 2 sacks tonight. Ringo had 7 tackles. Starks with 10 tackles. We had 6 sacks overall. Only had 10 coming into the game. And wow, just a terrific job with injuries to our linebacking core again, and moving guys around and moving guys up, next man up, get out there and do your thing, and that's what happened tonight.
All this without a Nolan Smith in the lineup. Unbelievable.
And Keeley with an interception. Let's not forget that in the second quarter in the end zone. Keeley Ringo with a big interception for the Dog. The Locker Room Show is presented by Regions and the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. The Governor's Office of Highway Safety reminds you that the penalty for getting a DUI can cost up to $10,000. That's why the Governor's Office of Highway Safety says drive sober so you won't get pulled over. Going to be a lot of reveling going on in Athens, and I would imagine around the Peach State tonight. So let's remember those friends at car services who can come and get you home if you decide to have a little party, whether you're in the rain like we were here in Sanford Stadium or not. All right, they're telling me Coach Smart is ready with DJ Shockley. The Locker Room Show, presented by Regions of the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, returns in 2 minutes with the coach. 27-13, Georgia winners on the Bulldogs Sports Network. The Locker Room Show is presented by Regions and the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. Dogs 27, Vols 13. Scott, Eric, Hondo up in the booth. And down in the locker room with Coach Kirby Smart is DJ Shockley. Coach Smart's interview is protected by Breda Pest Management, the official pest control of Georgia Athletics. With Breda, you don't have to be afraid of bugs. We all happy down there? Take it, Shock.
All right, thanks, Hondo. In the locker room now with Coach Smart, and oh man, what a monster game. Before we even get into anything in the game, just talk about this environment. Obviously, we talked about it last week, and you called for it, and I'll be doggone the dog fans showed up.
Yes, they did. They answered the bell. I hope all of them are hoarse tomorrow like we requested. But what I was impressed with was the second half. I had a little hint of, man, are they going to leave? Are they going to leave out of here? Because the game's a long way from over playing that offense. And when I came out for the second half, I think every single seat in the house was packed. And I told our team the first drive of the second half is going to determine the game. Because last week against Florida, we let them back in the game. They stomped it out. They came out and said, no, sir, not happening.
How big was there were a couple of instances where they had 3rd and 2, started a drive in Georgia territory, and here comes the false start. Here comes another false start. Before you know it, it's 3rd and 12, crowds above 120 decibels. I mean, just how big was that in the game?
Oh, it's huge. It affected them, especially it seemed like it snowballed on them as you got a couple offsides, more came. I mean, there's something to playing at home. And people texted me, I was talking to other coaches that played against them, they were like, playing at home is going to be huge for your pass rush. If you remember last year, Alabama couldn't protect against Auburn at Auburn, and they had all those sacks. Crowd noise and pass rush is worth about 14 points in those kind of environments.
Let's talk about that. I mean, defensively, that was what everybody was talking about coming to this game. They averaging 50 points a game. Nobody really got in the hooker. 7 sacks in this game. I know it's a total team defensive effort, but just what was the key to be able to get home?
The players. I thought Coach Schumann, Muschamp, Trey Scott, Chidera, Fran, every defensive coach sold the plan individually to their players. The players had to unselfishly buy into the plan because the plan included not rushing up the field, not running past the quarterback's level, pushing the pocket. And when you got guys like Jalen Carter that are NFL draft picks that bought into the plan, we wanted him to be uncomfortable in the pocket, and I thought our kids did that.
About a couple guys on the back end. I mean, Keeley comes up with a monster interception. I mean, was in phase, turned his head, actually played it like he was the receiver. Malachi had a bunch of tackles in space. And by the way, talking to Boogie during the game, he said he was the reason why he came here. He recruited him, not you. So he was a big part of that too.
Of course, Andrew takes credit for that. You know what I mean? He wants to take credit. I tell you what, Malachi stepped up tonight. Somebody had to play 11, and he was one that said, I'll go out there and I'll cover him when I get an opportunity. And he ran with him. He gave up a play late in a max situation, but he played big, and he's got a lot of confidence. He's the one guy we got that's got elite speed. But I thought he tackled really well. You
talk about Jalen Carter up front. There's always 3 levels to it, and I thought Pop had a phenomenal game. He was the one making all the calls, getting guys moving. That caused a couple false starts. Just how big was Pop in the middle of your defense being that leader for you?
Pop's incredible. He's smart, intelligent. He understands the plan. When you got the signal caller and Coach Schumann in that room, he can kind of help the back end and the front end. And those linebackers now that Coach Schumann got have stepped up and played really big for having 3 guys drafted there last year.
All right, Coach, 1 second. We'll be back and we'll do a quick break and talk some offense next. For now, back to you, Hondo.
All right, thanks, Shock. Yeah, let's talk some offense. But, man, that defense today overwhelmed Hendon Hooker and Tennessee. Georgia wins it 27-13 between the hedges here on Dooley Field. We'll come back with more with DJ Shockley, Coach Smart, Eric Zier, Scott Howard after this. It's the Locker Room Show presented by Regions and the Governor's Office of Highway Safety on the Bulldogs Sports Network. Coach Smart's interview is protected by Breda Pest Management, the official pest control of Georgia Athletics. With Breda, you don't have to be afraid of bugs. Dogs on top, 27-13. On top of Rocky Top is what we were here at Sanford Stadium. The Locker Room Show is presented by Regions and the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. Let's go back downstairs to Coach Smart with our DJ Shockley. Shock.
All right, thanks, Hondo. All smiles here, President Moorhead. All smiles, Coach. You. All smiles. Well, let's talk about some stuff that went on offensively, but let's start with the special teams. Sometimes we don't give those guys a lot of credit. How about Thorson with that monster 75-yard punt that goes to the 1? How big was that?
That was huge. I told him, I said, I don't know if you practiced that in Australia, making that ball curve to the sideline. It's like a boomerang. It just kept going more and more sideways, and what an incredible kick and a momentum swing. That was really a 3-4 point swing because it swung us there. We end up getting the sack, and then we hold them. We get the ball at the 35-yard line. I don't know if we got a touchdown or field goal out of that, but it was huge.
Unbelievable job by him. On offense, though, you were able to kind of do what you want that first half, up and down the field, throwing it, running it. Just how big up front was it just for the offensive line to be able to be the more dominant physical team in this ball game?
Yeah, I thought we came out and ran the ball really well early. We actually ran it better early than we did later in the game, which usually is not our MO. We wear people down. But the threat of the pass, the perimeter run, and some of the shots we took downfield, I thought the Arian shot early loosened them up. And where we struggled is explosive outside, and we need Arian to come to life because he's got 10-1, 10-2 speed.
They were 2 of 14 on third down. You were 7 of 12. 2 weeks in a row, over 50% on third down. Just how big was it, the early downs? Obviously, third down is big, but first and second down are big as too.
Huge. Third down is what we talk about all the time. Third down, red area are just the two stats that indicate how you win games outside of explosives and turnovers. And we were really good on third down. We stopped them on third down. Again, I thought our defensive staff did a hell of a job of playing a third down. Our offensive staff executed third down before the half. Even Monk did a great job of managing the clock and getting the ball down there, not giving them another possession.
After the game last week, we got back. I was talking to Stetson as we were walking to the car to leave, and he was just asking me some questions. And I told him, dude, you got to use your legs more. How about the run he had to get to the zone? Obviously, that's a big part of his game, but I know you love it too.
Oh, huge. I forgot. I was just thinking he didn't use them enough today, but I forgot about that run. You're right. He looked like a older DJ Shockley running down through there. But he's got that weapon, and there's a couple times late in the half I thought he could take off and do it. But he keeps his eyes downfield, which is what you ask a quarterback to do, and he uses the mobility when he gets rush up the middle.
All right, no rest for the Riri. Big win, but you got to move on. Obviously, it was a monster matchup. Everybody was talking about it, but now you move on, and now you got to go to Stark Vegas to get ready for Mississippi State. What's the plan? What's the communication you have for your team this week?
Well, hell, Shock, I'm still trying to get over this one. So we're going to go to Starkville. It's a tough place to play. I've been there many times. The environment is raucous. It's at night. They're a different style offense. I told our staff, you can throw out everything we've seen this year when you play Tennessee and Mississippi State. It doesn't matter what you've seen. They don't even look at the tape. All they're going to do is go back and say, all right, what do we do? And we've got to change gears. It's completely opposite of Tennessee. So we'll have to look hard at it and get better.
Last thing, Coach, you talk about playing 4 quarters. I know that's a big part of you want to see your team finish. Did you see your team finish tonight?
Yeah, I thought the fourth quarter was huge. The energy that came out of our stands in the fourth quarter ignited our team and to finish the game. They got a little momentum there with a touchdown. Darnell Washington with a huge onside recovery, and that's what you got to do.
How excited were you that the fans didn't go anywhere when it was raining, cats and dogs, nobody moved, your team didn't flinch, but how cool was it to have that environment and it still be raucous?
That's what you expect. We want to be the best. We want to be one of the top places in the country to come. We've got an unbelievable academic institution combined with an environment that's unmatched. When those lights came on in the fourth quarter, this is one they'll be talking about like Notre Dame for a long time.
All right, appreciate it, Coach. That's the post-game interview with head coach Kirby Smart. Back to you, Hondo.
All right, thank you so much, Shock, and thank you and congratulations to Coach Smart and his staff, the other coaches, all the support personnel, and, of course, the players who made it happen today as Georgia upsets top-ranked Tennessee 27-13. They already mentioned that next week we will be at Mississippi State. That's a night game, right, Scott?
7 o'clock, yes.
7 o'clock. That means our broadcast will begin at 3 o'clock here on the network. So you'll want to join us for that. That's your Toyota look ahead. Visit your local Toyota dealers today. Toyota, let's go places. Final thoughts, gentlemen.
Well, I like the way Georgia got it done in 2 halves and with different ways to do it. Offense in the first half, defense in the second half. We've highlighted a lot of the plays that were significant in this ball game, and I'll echo it again. My favorite play of the game was the punt by Thorson that kind of got the ball rolling, so to speak. No pun intended. And just a terrific effort by both groups, offense in the first half, defense to win the game in the second half. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I'll end where I started today is that I was so tired of hearing about this Tennessee team and how they had arrived, and there was it's almost as if everybody across the country forgot that we knew how to play offense, that we knew how to play defense, that defense wins championships. It was time to get this football team, these two teams on the field to go after it where we could just stop all of the talk. This is a Georgia team that knows how to play in these kind of games. We've been to the top of the mountain. We're the defending national champs. It comes through Athens, Georgia, and our offensive defensive line had them on roller skates all day. We got after Hendon Hooker. It was a great performance across the board.
Yeah, that Tennessee offense, that tempo offense was atonal today. They could not get it going against our defense. Just some final stats for you. Georgia with 387 yards of total offense today. We only had 81 in the second half. That was, I don't want to say by design because we'd like to gain yards, but we pulled the plug there, especially in the fourth quarter.
Really in the third quarter. As soon as the rain came. Yeah, as soon as the rain came, we played it close to the vest and said it's going to be in the hands of our defense, which was the right call. No need to take chances. So that was really through a half of football almost.
Tennessee with 289 yards of total offense today, 150 in the second half. A lot of that, again, when we were keeping them in front of us in the fourth quarter as Tennessee was trying to march down the field against the Bulldogs. And as we've seen so many times, Scott, in the past season and a half, now almost 2 seasons, the only touchdown scored against the Dogs is in the fourth quarter in junk time.
Yeah, there's only 2 teams this season that have scored more than 1 touchdown in a game. That was Florida last week, and then way back against Kent State, they scored 2 touchdowns in their loss to Georgia. So the defense does its job, and they keep the other team off the scoreboard for the most part. 13 points against one of the highly explosive, top-rated offenses in the country is darn good work.
Stetson Bennett throws for 2 touchdowns, runs for another on a 17 of 25, no interception night. Terrific job by Stetson Bennett the fourth. Well, that's going to do it for all of us here in Athens. Your Locker Room Show presented by Regions and the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. Thanks to our engineer, the Road Dog, Adam Gillespie, Luke Ned Carney, our studio producer. Chris Schiavone is my co-spotter. For our play-by-play team of Scott Howard, Eric Zier, and DJ Shockley, this is Neil Hondo Williamson. Statement win tonight, a party in the rain for our fans, for our players, and for the Bulldog Nation, as Tennessee's reign as number 1 lasted 4 whole days. 4 whole days. Start the chant wherever you are. 4 whole days. 4 whole days. All right. Once again, the final score from the 15th largest stadium in the world, Georgia 27, Tennessee 13. JD and KB are next. God bless you, good night, and go Dogs.
Dogs, a 27-13 winner over Tennessee today between the hedges. Incredible atmosphere as reigning national champion Georgia improves to 9-0. We're back tomorrow morning from 10 till noon for the Bulldog Brunch from the Hilltop Grill. So until then, for Josh Connor, Luke Nad Carney, and Kevin Butler, I'm Jeff Dantzler. Thanks for listening to Dog Talk Postgame, presented by Pruitt Health from the Hotel Indigo on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
On the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network, you've been listening to Georgia Football. Today's broadcast has been brought to you by Zaxby's, Pruitt Health, Family Makes Us Stronger, Dos Equis, a proud sponsor of Georgia Athletics. Get a dose. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Kroger, enjoy free delivery with Boost by Kroger Plus, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Georgia's own credit union, banking on purpose. Georgia Farm Bureau, always the home team. Napa Auto Parts. Napa, get up and go. Southeast Mortgage, the official home loan lender of the Georgia Bulldogs. Regions, get your Georgia Bulldogs Regions Visa debit card. Visit regions.com/GoDogs to order yours today. The Governor's Office of Highway Safety. Drive sober so you won't get pulled over. 4. Visit your local Ford dealer, proud sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs. And by Hotel Indigo. Visit hotelindigoathens.com to book your reservation today. The proceeding has been a presentation of the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network, powered by Learfield and JMI Sports.